Hey tribe. So number synchronicities. I feel like there are very, very, very personal and specific to you. I started seeing 1111 a couple of years ago, and initially I thought it was just coincidence. I was like, oh, okay. But then once I started seeing it like every day, several times a day, then I started saying, you know what, maybe there's something to this. So I said, okay, what could this be? How is this digital clock calling my attention? How is it that every time that I have to purchase something, it comes out to be $11.11? How come I keep seeing this repetitive number sequence? What the hell is it that's trying to call my attention? And my initial impression when I asked that question was my consciousness, or the universal consciousness, the energy that connects all of our species to each other and to planet Earth. Seems like a pretty complicated response, but that's actually what it felt like. It really felt like an impulse to evolve the species forward. And I've come to realize in the last few years that it's 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 kind of like an indication that you're on the right path. It's an indication that you are thinking in the right direction, or if you ask a question and you get a response, it's letting you know that you like the answer that you got or the response that you got is accurate. It's encouraging. I notice sometimes when I might be feeling a little down or sad or anything like that, I see it and it kind of like reminds me that I'm not alone. It's a reminder from my family. We're here with you. You're not alone. It's okay. This is part of the experience. I feel like it's a message from my higher self. I feel like it's messages from spirit guides. But what I really want to convey is that it's very personal. Sometimes I'll see number sequences like 222, 333, that kind of stuff. And you can look up what those things mean, these angel numbers. And they're probably really accurate what you're looking at. But I think the ultimate answer to what these number synchronicities means to you can only truly be known by you. There is no one or nothing in this universe that knows you more than you, or can answer the questions that you have about yourself and your life and your experiences more than you. You are the epitome of information right here in your body. And I feel like our brains have been getting a whole lot of attention in the last couple hundred years. But I honestly am starting to feel like our bodies are actually more intelligent than our brains. Our blood, our bones, our muscles. We need to start paying attention to that more. And instead of depending so much on the neurons in our brains, depend and ask questions of the neurons in our hearts. Listen to your body. Ask questions to your body. Where synchronicities goes, it really is, it's very personal and it's very dependent on what you're vibrating at. It depends on what your frequency is. It depends on what you need for your own personal evolution and your own personal growth. Like, I can see exactly why I started seeing 1111. It was because I feel like I would recognize the pattern, and I would sit my ass down and ask the questions, where is this coming from, and what is this synchronicity trying to tell me? I feel like these things happen in our lives because we knew before we got here exactly what would get our attention. And initially I thought that I was the only one going through this, and I thought I was kind of losing my mind a little bit. But then I got on YouTube one day and I just typed in 1111 and I saw that a whole shitload of people were seeing this, and so I was like, okay, so it's not only me that's getting these messages, it's other people on the planet. It's not only just it's our entire species that is basically getting the message that it's time to evolve. It's time to change. It's time to move. It's time to come up with different ideas. It's time to create something new, something more novel, something more complex. This is what the universe is for. This is what light does. We expand, we evolve, we change, we move. And if we ever get in a point of our life where we are stagnant, which I feel like that's what was happening to me a couple of years ago. I felt like I was becoming stagnant in my life. And it's like that, it just won't do. Stagnation is equivalent to death here. So you have to keep moving. You have to keep growing. You can't continue to respond in the same ways that you have in the past. You can't continue to just react to situations in your life. You have to change. You have to do something different. And that's what, for me, 1111 means. An impulse to evolve. It lets me know when I see it nowadays. It lets me know, okay, you're on the right path, or you're thinking the right way, or it's okay. Don't neglect your negative emotions. Feel them, be in them, but also know that you're not alone. Also know that you have help. Also remember that you can call onto your spirit guides, your family of light, your family of dark, your ancestors, whatever you want to call it, your whatever origins in the universe you came in from. Just know that, you know, everything's okay. That's what the number synchronicities mean to me. It's really just a reminder that, you know, everything's all right all the time. Peace. The other thing that these number synchronicities helped me to realize, because it was a pattern for me to see these numbers. It actually became like a pattern for a long time, and when I recognized the pattern, that's when I started paying attention to it. But what it also helped me to realize was that I needed to start paying attention to the other patterns in my life, the patterns in my relationships, the patterns in the way that I relate to people, the patterns in the way that I interact with my children, and the pattern, any pattern that was happening in my life for years. That was very, extremely helpful to see your own patterns and realize that no one is responsible for your patterns and your shit and your emotional baggage and your trauma but you. And you can't depend on doctors or medication or meditations or anything like that. You have to depend on you. Whatever it is that you know that you need to work on, and no one can answer that question more than you. No one can answer that question more than you. Because you're the one that knows exactly what you've experienced. Your subconscious mind has recorded everything that's happened from the moment that you were born. All of the traumas and the reasons why we respond in the way that we do, in fear or in lack or this illusion of separation, all of that we can decipher where it comes from and get to the root of the problem by paying attention to our own patterns and deciding that we are going to be responsible for ourselves. We can't continue to blame our parents or the society or capitalism or religion or church or the school or the media or anything. We have to become responsible for ourselves. Not going to say the only way, but the one way that I know to evolve myself and evolve the species and evolve the planet and help in this spiritual awakening is to work on myself, because this is the body, this is the temple, this is what I have access to, this is what I'm responsible for, this is the mission or the the course that I have been given is this body, these experiences that I have, and so I am responsible for paying attention to the patterns in my life and deciding to change it. And the change comes really quickly once you recognize the pattern, once you recognize a pattern in your life. Just that recognition of it is already freeing and releases a whole lot of pent-up old energy, because now you're aware of it. So that's something else that the number synchronicities have helped me with, recognizing patterns and realizing that there's nobody that is responsible for your evolution but you. The church can't do it, the pastor can't do it, your favorite YouTubers can't do it. You have to do it yourself, because that's your job. That's your coursework in this earth school.